What up, everybody? Thanks for checking into the Mamba podcast. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jackson, and so that's my first pod in a while. I know it's been a long time, about a month or so, but I've been busy. Had some school stuff I had to take care of, some stuff for work I had to do. So yeah, and this is just a little thing I do for fun on the side. So I had to take care of business firsthand, and but I'm back now and I'm ready to get rolling and pick up right where I left off with my football stuff from this weekend. And actually, not just this weekend. I'm actually going to be, according to my notes, I'm left off at around week 5, so that's quite a while ago now. So yeah, I definitely got some catching up to do. Not much to catch up on with fantasy football. My teams haven't been that great. I'm taking a look at it right now. If you remember, I'm in 2 leagues, one with my family and one with some friends. So my family league, my Gramps league, I am in 8th place out of 10 people, and in my friends league, the fantasy league, I'm in 11th place out of 12. So yeah, suboptimal to say the least. Hasn't been great for me. I think we're already in the playoffs right now, and yeah. Definitely didn't make the cut. It was fun though. Had fun like I always do. But I'm just kind of playing for pride to make sure I don't win the Sacco in both these leagues. But yeah, injuries just rattled both my teams. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. Like I said, it's a lot of fun, and I'm just hoping, hopefully next year is a little bit more kinder to me as far as injuries go. But aside from fantasy football, there's also regular football. Now, I was making picks, and still was, even though I wasn't, making podcasts, letting you guys know about them. I was making picks. Actually, I wish that my pick going, I wish that my fantasy team did as well as my pick going was, because I actually did really well, and I have done, in the later weeks. That's usually kind of how it goes, though. As the season goes along, you kind of know, who's in or who's hot, who's not, who's good, and who's bad. And right around this time of year is when the teams who are good are gonna be good, and the teams who are bad are gonna be bad. And as simple as that sounds, it's true every year. Teams are different, but that same principle still applies. So yeah, overall so far, this is including the 2 ties that we had earlier in the year. Which are weird. When it happens the last time we've had 2 ties, let alone one. We have one every now and then, but 2 in the same year. That's a little odd if you ask me. But that just shows how weird this season's been so far for the NFL. Now yeah, so for my record over these through 14 weeks, I am 142-74. Now, if you've been following the pod, you know that my goal was to be at least above 500 for the year, and I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm going to finish 100 over the year, barring, I just completely blow it for the rest of the season, which I don't think I will, knock on wood. But yeah, it's been pretty good for my picks. I wish I was gambling on this stuff, but I'm not really right now. Maybe for the playoffs and stuff like that. But yeah, don't really need to get into a whole bunch of analysis on how teams have gone. Like I said, teams are what they are at this point, barring crazy things that could happen. Like a devastating injury or something like that. But for the most part, the teams that were good throughout the year are good. The teams that were bad throughout the year are bad, and then the same teams who are right in the middle of the pack, up and down, have been up and down. We know teams like the Browns, the Colts. Well, I can't really count out the Colts or anyone in the AFC South, so forget what I just said about that. The AFC South is a mess, but someone's got to make the playoffs, and I honestly don't know who it is, but either way, they're going to be bounced in the first round immediately. But yeah, continuing on the other bad teams, we get the same bad teams like the Browns, the Jaguars, the Rams. Man, the Rams. Hey, at least always got football, right? The Niners, the Jets, just teams like that. They're just struggling, and there's right now as of now, it's kind of like you want to at least look competitive for the fans, but you know that they're throwing in the towel and playing for a top lottery pick in the upcoming draft. But honestly, we know who's bad, but it's kind of weird. I can't remember the last time I don't really know who's good. I know who's good, but there's no team that's really truly great. like in years past before. You got teams like the Patriots, every team in the AFC West except for the Chargers, the Raiders, Chiefs, and Broncos, all super competitive, and there's a chance that all three teams might make the playoffs. And then it's like, you got teams like the Steelers, like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Who knows? The Falcons too. I mean, yeah, they just, put the hurting on the Rams, but a lot of teams put the hurting on the Rams. But, they stay, when everyone's healthy, watch out because that offense is explosive and the defense, maybe this game against the Rams was the turnaround that they need for the season, and the confidence booster they need. Cowboys, sure last night, or excuse me, Sunday night was not the greatest outing, but I mean it was road game, really cold, tough conditions and stuff like that. So now people kind of say, oh, is Dak can do it? Should we start Romo? But like they're gonna be fine with Dak going forward. The last thing you want to do is just break up the chemistry the team has had all the season long. They'll be fine. They'll make their way into the playoffs and potentially go deep. And then, like I said, there's just a lot of another game that was kind of weird. Well, I mean, it wasn't that weird, I guess. And the game I'm referring to is the Packers and the Seahawks. Who knew that Earl Thomas was, the MVP of the whole Seahawks? They just looked kind of lifeless out there. Sure, it was on the road again. Another team on the road in the cold that they're not used to. Not used to those conditions, but. Man, the Seahawks really struggled, and mainly Russell Wilson. Really weird, stuff like that. And like I said, I just don't know who's at the top. There's no definitive, just as there's no definitive number one team who everyone's favoriting to win the Super Bowl. There's also no MVP favorite MVP candidate, which is kind of weird too. Usually, you kind of have an idea. It's either this quarterback or this running back, but now it's kind of up in the air. If you run through the list, there's guys' names like Brady, Carr, Zeke, Prescott, even Dak, Matt Ryan, guys like that. It's just you can even throw guys like Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson in there. It's just there's no real definitive number one favorite. But yeah, this is just This is another testament to how how kind of weird this whole season's been. It's been weird is to say the least. The ratings have been down and kind of all over the place. A lot of players are injured, and you're seeing a lot of new faces out there that you haven't seen. Teams that are typically good haven't been so good, and vice versa. Teams who are typically bad have been pretty good. Like I said, just a strange season overall. But we still got 3 weeks left in the regular season to make the playoffs, and that's when that's when things are really gonna get going in the playoffs, and I can't wait. All right, now I can't remember if I talked about in the last pod I caught up with you guys on, but yeah, so fantasy basketball also started, and that's the league that I have the most fun doing. One, because I do love basketball, but also because my friends that I play with are also more basketball fans than football fans. So everyone's really into it. We got a big group chat going. We're always doing all stuff like that, and yeah, it's really fun. There's a lot of typical stuff that goes on in a fantasy league with a bunch of friends. Stupid trades, complaining, funny, trash talk and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm just going to go over my team real quick with you guys, just so you guys know. So my team name, #anything is possible, because in this world, as J.R. Smith, a.k.a. the co-captain of my team, spoiler alert, has proven that yes, anything is possible. And so, yeah, like I mentioned, the co-captain of my team, J.R. Smith, he's on there, and the other co-captain, my main man. If you listen to the NBA preview pods, which you should check out if you haven't already, my main man, Boogie, is the other co-captain of my team, my number one overall pick. I had to get him. I was a 4th overall pick. I had the number 4 pick, so I had to go up a little bit, take Boogie. I wasn't gonna let him out of my sights. I haven't been able to get him last couple seasons, and I wasn't gonna let this chance go by where I didn't get Boogie. So yeah, I got Boogie. I got J.R. Smith. My guards, I got Jordan Clarkson, Klay Thompson, Brandon Jennings, Devin Booker. And then on my forwards, I got Gallo, Thad Young, Kenneth Faried, Nikola Mirotic, And then at my big man centers, I got the Zinga, the Latvian gangbanger, Kristaps Porzingis, Brook Lopez, and Jonas Valanciunas. Now, so far, I'm not doing that great in my league right now. Top, really top heavy. If how these guys have been doing so far. My team's pretty top heavy at the moment. And then the rest of the guys are kind of up and down. Like guys like Jennings, Clarkson, Kenneth Faried, Thad Young. Those guys are kind of up and down. Sometimes they'll have a really good game, sometimes they won't. And but other than that, I am getting pretty consistently good numbers from Boogie, from Kristaps, surprisingly from Gallo too. He's been pretty good for me so far this year. I gotta admit, didn't see that coming. I thought he'd be one of those kind of guys where I maybe add and drop every now and then, depending on how he's doing this season. But yeah, I really like my team so far. It's as you all know with fantasy sports, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm in 8th place out of 10 teams so far. Not the best, but like I said, I'm hanging in there. I like my team. I'm sticking with my guys because anything is possible. Especially when you got JR and Boogie as your co-captains of your team. And then in the NBA, so far it's kind of like the NFL, where you kind of knew who was going to be good going into the season. Like in the West, same usual teams. The Warriors, Spurs, Clippers, Rockets, Grizz, Thunder. And in the East, you kind of got the same thing. Everyone knew the top of it was going to be the Cavs and the Raptors. And then from about 3 to 8, maybe even, sometimes 10 to 11, are all, the same kind of fighting for position. They're all interchangeable. So right now, the Knicks are 3rd in the East. I guarantee a lot of people didn't see that coming, even though all the trades they got. But that definitely won't be the case going on later this season. Not saying that it's not just because the Knicks are historically bad and stuff, but it's just because that's just the way the East is. Everyone kind of rotates. And then like with the Bulls, Hornets, Celtics, Pacers, Pistons, they're all in it if the playoffs started tomorrow. And then the Hawks and Bucks and Magic, they're all clawing and trying to swap spots with them. And like I said, it's the East, and that's usually what happens. So don't get used to the playoff positioning and the playoff seeding flip flopping a lot this year, especially in the East. But and then the teams that we all thought were going to be bad are bad. And staying in the East, Sixers bottom, Nets bottom. A lot of people, including myself, thought that the Heat weren't going to do that well. Actually, I just had it the other way around. More people thought that the Heat were going to be okay or fine this year, but myself, I believed, as long as with some other people, that the Heat were going to be really bad, and they are very bad. But I didn't see the Wizards being this bad either. Wizards are pretty bad. And yeah, I just don't know where they go from here. They got to really hit the reset button, whether it's getting rid of John Wall or whoever else, because they already gave Bradley Beal the extension, so it looks like Bradley Beal's the guy that they believe in so far going forward. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Oh yeah, and then before I leave the East, I want to big up Giannis for having a ridiculous season so far. If I'm not sure if he could win Most Improved Player because everyone knows how good he is, but he is freaking lighting the stat sheet on fire. Kind of starting to translate into wins. Kind of, like I said, still early, so records, hard to quantify stats with wins so far. But we are a quarter of the way through, and they're 11 and 12 right now. But let's hope that for his sake, because I love to see playoff Giannis, that they can keep working their way up and scratch to that bottom. Hopefully scratch to the 8 seed or maybe even higher. Who knows? And then in the West, same thing in the West. The same teams that are bad are going to be bad. Pelicans, Suns are at the bottom. But weird thing. I don't think. I'm not sure if other people thought it, but I know for a fact I was caught off guard that the Mavs are so bad this year. They are really bad. I thought the Timberwolves were going to be better. They're pretty disappointing. They only have 6 wins, and so do the Mavs. But yeah, those two teams, surprising. The Mavs more so than the T-Wolves for me, but also surprising, the Kings and the Lakers. The Lakers started off a lot better than people thought. They weren't, setting the world on fire, but they were playing competitive basketball. It looked more fun, and that was the main thing that I took away from watching the games. They looked like they're having a lot more fun. There's more communication. There's more trust in the guys. That's both from the players trusting each other. That's the players trusting that the coach is going to put them in the best situation to succeed, and that's also a trust from the coach to the players that the coach knows that, hey, I trust these guys to make the right decision. And even if they don't always make the best decision, it's always encouraging for the players to know that their coach trusts them, which is definitely not what they had in years prior. So Lakers, it looks pretty good. They're on a losing streak right now, but whatever. I mean, it's no one expected them to win the championship or anything this year. But as long as we're not looking for perfection or anything, we're looking for progress with this young Lakers team. And so far, we're getting pretty good progress. And then I mean, man, I just gotta say something about AD. Man, he is playing out of his mind right now. Just like Giannis in the East, AD is playing out of his mind right now. But he is just stuck on this shitty team in New Orleans. And it's part of me feels bad for him, but the other part doesn't, because you want him to be in the just like you want Giannis to be in the playoffs. You want AD in the playoffs. AD is might be who knows. We've only seen it once, and it wasn't even that much of a show out. But you want him to succeed and you want him to do well. But at the same time, he chose to re-sign for a long-term deal with the Pelicans. So it's like he knew that this team sucked and his coach sucks, unless he knows something that we don't know. But so far, man, his team stinks. And I just hope that, going forward, things turn around for him. But yeah, now the main thing I want to talk about real quick. I'll try to make it as quick as possible, just because, everyone's already talking about it. I know you're probably sick of hearing it, but the MVP race so far is the craziest I've seen in a long time, or in a long time that I can remember. You got Russell Westbrook playing out of his mind, completely, utterly out of his mind, just setting the stat sheet on fire, setting the world on fire, setting everything on fire, literally doing everything for his team. And he's getting all these numbers not because he wants to, but because he has to, because his team is so bad around him. That Thunder team is so bad around him that he literally has to get a triple-double every night to keep them in the game. And it's amazing to watch, but like you always say, how long can one guy sustain it? And if there's anyone who can sustain this level of play for an entire 82 game season and potentially more, including the playoffs, it's freaking Russell Westbrook. Man, he is playing on a whole nother level, on a HNL right now, a whole nother level. And it's freaking damn exciting to watch and damn entertaining to watch. And I really hope he can stay healthy out there. It's a lot of minutes he's playing, a lot of energy he's exerting, and I hope he can stay on the floor and continue to do what he's doing, because it's, like I said, man, it is damn fun to watch. But yeah, it's not just Russ either. It's James Harden's putting up great numbers. Averaging almost triple-double in Houston. Like if you haven't watched, like I mentioned in my NBA preview pod, which you should check out if you haven't checked out already. That's what's gonna happen when you have D'Antoni as your head coach. He's gonna make you. If you're a good player, you're gonna be great, and if you're already a great player, you're gonna be really great. And that's what James Harden's been doing. And for the first time in a while, it's been translating to wins. Last season was pretty rough for the Rockets, but they're doing a lot better this season. And it's starting with James Harden, and he's really putting the team on his back and taking a leadership role, and it's showing. And then, with the Warriors, maybe it could be Steph. It might even be KD, and even those guys are on the same team, and take away that kind of, superstar, like, luster kind of aura around it, from, as opposed to them being on individual teams and, being the face of each team. Man, KD has a really good chance, because I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but, he's having the most statistically efficient season that he's ever had, and that, any player has ever had in quite some time now. And history shows that usually the MVP is on either a number one or a number two seeded team, mainly number one seeded team. And if that's going to be the case, and that's what these writers and these voters are looking for, KD's so far based on those criteria, KD's the MVP right now. And as like I said, as crazy as Russ has been playing, he's on as it sits now. He is. The Thunder are sitting at number 6, and I don't think they're going to crack the top 3, just considering how well everyone else has been playing. Everyone in the West has been playing, but man, it's a tight race, and that's also including LeBron in the East. He's freaking playing really well too. He's averaging almost a triple double as well, and everyone kind of predicted that was going to happen. He's gonna he knows he's gonna get his. Everyone knows he's gonna get his on offense as far as scoring the ball, but you knew that he was gonna take this kind of season to get more guys around him involved. Willing to make the extra pass to dish it out to Kyrie or Kevin Love or Tristan Thompson, JR, all the other guys. He was willing to, get the team involved, share the ball, maybe so he doesn't have to wear himself out as much. He can preserve his body for the playoffs and stuff like that, so he doesn't have to take as many games out and stuff like that. But yeah, really tight MVP race. One of the craziest and tightest ones I've seen in a long time. Pause. And yeah, I'm just really excited for the rest of the season. It's been a pretty good season so far. Despite how really bad some of the bad teams have been, there's a lot more good basketball than bad basketball, and that hasn't really been the case in a while. But I'm like I said, I'm really enjoying the season so far, and look for more updates on the NBA from me throughout the season, and also maybe or may not be doing a few live streaming of some games with myself and maybe some of my friends and some other people around. So stay tuned for that too in the future. Alright guys, so that was just a quick little pod I wanted to make just to for anyone who cares out there, if they're wondering if I'm alive or not. Yes, I am still alive, and I'm still doing my thing, watching sports every day, watching listening to podcasts, movies, TV, doing all that stuff. I'm out here doing it. I'm soaking it all in. And I'm getting back on track. Things are good now. I'm getting back on track. Look for me to do my regular Monday and Friday pods for the NFL picks, and look for other ones throughout the year, throughout the week too. Whether it's just a catch up pod, just something I want to get off my chest or anything like that. And also look for more interviews coming too. I got one lined up for this week. Hopefully I got another couple of others in the month, and then definitely next year I'm going to be having a lot more interviews. Like I said, it's a lot of work and school and stuff kind of got in the way. I had to push some stuff back, and but yeah, I'm back now, baby. So no need to fear. Brown Mamba's here, and I'm here to stay. So don't worry about it. And yeah, I also got some other things working too for 2017, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. 2016 has been a pretty good year, and but 2017 is where it's at. So, or should I say 2017? Big things in 2017, boy. So yeah, like always, if you like what you heard, go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Mainly subscribe, please, and all that good stuff. And also you can go ahead and follow me and all the ads down below. And I also got a new website name. It's still the Tumblr, but it's not brownmamba.tumblr.com anymore. It's brownmamba.us. So remember that. Go ahead and add that to your folders and your favorites and all that stuff in your web browsers. Yeah, brownmamba.us. So go ahead and give that a click. Check it out. That's where you can find all my pods. You can find all my photo edits. You can find a bunch of other stuff that I like. And other stuff that I find interesting and stuff like that. So, again, thanks for listening. It's been a little while. It's good to be back. And like always, peace.